Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video we're doing another thrift with me at the Salvation Army. I feel like we were here not too long ago. I'm starting to lose track, to be honest, because I've been thrifting so much. But in the not too distant past, we were at the store. This is actually my favorite Salvation Army, I think. I love it. It's in like an old building with this really old brick wall. I think it's really nice, but I have been finding a lot of good things here as well. So at the front of the store, they have these glass shelves that they kind of put their nicer things on. I found this Millennium plate from the year 2000. It's like a collector plate. So we did end up getting this to resell because we thought there might be a market for it, and it was only $4, so not too bad. I'm sure we could probably at least sell it for $20. I don't think we bothered looking it up, but we just kind of went with our gut on it. I thought this little teapot, cream and sugar were so beautiful, like so cute. There'd be, I think what you would call like cottage core, maybe. I have always loved this set, the white with the gold trim. I forget who makes it, but I guess I'm trying to show it there. It doesn't really fit my aesthetic, but I do really love it. Every time I see it, I kind of think, can I make this work? But I don't have room for anything else. And it doesn't really fit in with my kitchen aesthetic, so I pass on it, but I do think it's really beautiful. I feel like it's almost like timeless. I feel like I've been seeing so many big sets of china lately when I've been out thrifting. And I was thinking about how, it's not something that's like really popular anymore, I don't think, like for people even like my age to have like a set of china. So I think a lot of people are inheriting sets of china maybe, and they're just getting donated to the store because people don't really use it anymore. Like, I don't personally know anybody who still uses it. Like, I don't even think my grandma uses hers. And then I noticed that there was another piece of that set that I love. It's probably like a serving dish or maybe just like a candy dish. I'm not sure. I noticed one of those really big Avon steins was so heavy. There's no way I would ever want to like resell that online because the shipping would be insane. So John was looking at some things over there in the corner, and then I actually never really look in this craft section when I come in the store. I'm not really sure why, but I noticed that they had a big box of craft books, and then John was talking to me. He was showing me these. There was a big group of different figures, but he was thinking about maybe getting them to resell, but he said they didn't have like a brand on them or anything, so he wasn't sure if they were worth money or not, so he ended up passing. But then I went back to the books, and yeah, I don't know if I've ever noticed that they had craft books over here before, but I do like collecting some of the Better Homes and Gardens craft books, like from the 60s and 70s. I just think they're really cute, and I collect Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks too, so I thought that this book was very 70s, but I think it was actually from the 80s. And then I found this book, which I actually already own, this Patchwork and Quilting, which has a very 70s vibe and look to it. I actually used it to decorate in my office, and then I found another one that I did not already have. So I ended up picking up the Patchwork one because I just think it will probably sell well because it's so cute. So I'm going to resell that, I think. But the other one I'm going to keep, and it kind of goes with the Patchwork one, so I put that up in my office as well. There were so many in here, but I try to really limit myself. Otherwise, I would just have way too much stuff, and I actually don't really like a ton of stuff. This is like a series, I think, because I see these quite a bit. I think they have a number on this side. I think they look very 70s too, but again, I have to limit myself. But I was super happy to find those two. And then they have this glass case where I guess they have more expensive things they don't want people touching. I'm pretty sure these glasses were here the last time I were here, which I don't know. I feel like it was a month ago. Maybe it was longer, maybe not as long. I can't even keep track anymore. They did have some tins in here, like I think that were for tea. I don't think they're that old though, because I remember these, so I feel like they were probably maybe early 2000s. So, I mean, I guess that's like over 20 years now, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like that long. They also have these mystery bags too. I've noticed a couple of times. It doesn't really appeal to me though, but then I noticed this coffee table book. I love a good coffee table book. My coffee table, if you're not familiar, has like a piece of glass over it and then a shelf below, so I like to keep vintage magazines and like cool vintage coffee table books under there. So I thought this one looked really cool. It was $8, so it was a little pricey, but I just thought it was so cool. And when I flipped through on the inside, it shows like the original retail price, and it was actually $46.50 Canadian or something. So $8 was a great deal, and it was in amazing condition. So definitely picked that up. I noticed these pumpkins and I was thinking, should I get some more pumpkins? But ultimately I decided I probably didn't need them and I didn't want to add to it. And then I spotted this little Mickey watch that has a very 90s look to me. I don't think we've determined when it's from, but it looks very 90s to me. It was only $1 and it was still in the package. So I thought I would get that and resell that as well. And then I also noticed this old set of, I think it's supposed to be for like children because it kind of looks tiny. I think it's only silver plated, but it was pretty cheap, so we decided to pick that up too and resell. I'm not really sure how old it is, but I mean, it looks at least 30 or more years old. So, and then now we're actually moving like into the store. John resells a lot of video game stuff, so he always looks through, see if he can find that. And we noticed the season of Columbo, which we ended up getting. I haven't watched Columbo in a long time, but I did enjoy it. And John, his grandma used to live with them when he was a kid, and she really liked the show, so he grew up watching it with her. So it's very cute. I thought this mug had a very like 80s look to it, maybe early 90s look to it. As soon as I saw this mug, it unlocked a memory, and I think that I had this exact mug that one of my friends gave me in high school, so it's definitely 90s, but I didn't feel like it was special enough to buy to resell. And then I pulled this mug out because I thought it was funny, and I wanted John to see it because he gets super annoyed. Like in his job, he has to, he works from home, so it's a lot over like email. So he could definitely relate to that. So now we're over in the casserole dish kind of section, and I noticed this pattern. I don't think I ever end up looking though to see what it is. I've never seen it before. I'm assuming maybe it's glass bake, but then I noticed this tiny Corningware. It's just plain white, no pattern, little square casserole dish. And originally I put it back down, but then I thought, I think this would actually be really good to use if you're just making something tiny. Or I was thinking if you're making, what came to my mind was spinach and artichoke dip. And, it's good from, Corningware is good from like freezer to oven, fridge, all that. So I thought I would go ahead and pick that up. It was really inexpensive, and then I didn't even end up bothering looking at that casserole dish. But I loved these so much, and I kind of almost regret not getting a couple, but I already have some that are similar to that. They're just a little bit taller, and I felt like I couldn't justify getting more, but I think they're so cute, and they probably weren't terribly expensive either. They're probably only $1 or $2, but oh well. If I see them again, if I go back and they're there, maybe I'll get them. But it's really hard when you only have a certain amount of space and you have things that you love already, so you don't have a lot of space for new things. And yeah, I don't, like I mentioned, I don't like a terribly large amount of things either, but I always see vintage things and I think like I'll use them in a video, so that's like part of the reason why I wanted to buy them or why I regret not buying them. If I ever get back to doing vintage recipes, that's when I think about it, but I don't know. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see the kitchen geese. I think they're called like blue ribbon, blue bow, something. Well, first I got distracted by this coffee pot. That's cute, but you probably knew what I was going to say. We've got like the ultimate piece here. I don't think we've ever seen this before, but I'm assuming this is the cookie jar. I didn't bother looking to see how much it was, and I haven't bothered to look up to see like what the stuff sells for, but I sure do see a lot of it, so I probably should, but I just think it's so funny. I don't know why, I guess I don't really like it in terms of like decor, but I just remember how popular it was and how many people had it in their kitchen, so I don't know, it just seems like it's abundant. I also feel like the era of having your kitchen filled with like the same pattern thing in like every imaginable thing is like way over, unless you're a vintage collector and you're collecting, vintage things. Like I have a lot of Spice of Life, but I think it would be very weird to walk into someone's home now, like, and not have it not be vintage, and just see like a clock and dishes and glasses and mugs and like everything imaginable just matching in a pattern. I just think it would look really weird, but yet it was so normal for so long. I feel like nowadays, at least on social media, everyone's kitchen looks the same. It's all like white and gray and just very bare. Although I feel like now color is coming back and that style is going out. But one thing I wish would come back is colored appliances. And not just like blue and red, because I know you can buy like vintage inspired appliances in those colors. Those seem to be the most popular colors, but I'm looking for some harvest gold, some avocado. I would even take brown. I think that I did see brown ones somewhere, but I can't remember where. But I just really want colored appliances to come back in some capacity before like I go to remodel my kitchen, because I really want 70s looking appliances, but I want new ones that are more energy efficient. So I don't want to try to buy old ones that are not as energy efficient. And I really want them to last too. So I would feel more comfortable buying new appliances, but I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. I also love looking at all these old crafting magazines as well, especially ones from the 70s and the early 80s, but I didn't end up getting any. I have a few already, and I feel like it's probably enough, unless it was something like super special. I just don't want to clutter my office up with any more than is really necessary. Which, if you've seen my office in any of my day in the life videos, then you know that it's full of a lot of crap. Although it has been getting better, I have been working on it. So hopefully the next time I show you guys, it will be much more cleared out. So I'm making progress anyway, which is what counts. I like to give a quick scan for cookbooks, and I was tempted to get this Christmas book, but I also have a lot of Christmas books, and I've been trying to corral them all together so I can really see what I have and maybe let go of some if I feel like I'm not really gonna look at them or use them. I kind of want to do like vintage recipes for the holidays, but also like some vintage crafts maybe. I don't know, we'll see. But the Halloween section was pretty cleared out, which I'm always hoping that I'll find some vintage Halloween, but it never happens. So John was down looking at the DVDs / to see if there was games, because sometimes they'll put games just in with DVDs, not realizing. And he's found some really good ones that way, where the people just have no idea what it's worth. So I always like to give a quick scan on the VHS as well, because you never know if you're going to find one that you don't have. I feel like it's pretty slim now, but they also sell 8-tracks here, which I love. I noticed this movie, As Good as It Gets, it's from the 90s. It's so good. I watched it like last year, I think, but John's never seen it before, and I think he would like it. But we used to actually sell 8-tracks at the thrift store I worked at, and we also had an 8-track player, so my boss would just play them all the time because it was a really big store. I'm really hoping that sometime in the fall I'll be able to get to that store and do like a walk through Thrift with me in there. It's been a really long time since I've been in there. I decided to flip through the records because I've been having a lot of success, and there was a bunch of records on the floor as well. So I searched through those, not on camera, just because I thought it would be boring just filming myself flipping through. I didn't find anything. I found a few that I kind of liked, but ultimately I just decided I didn't need them. And then I looked up and I saw these beautiful lamps, and I could not stop staring at them. I just kept thinking, like, I need these in my living room. These are the most amazing vintage lamps. This is exactly what I think of when I think of vintage lamps, like from the 50s and 60s. It's just so beautiful. My grandma had lamps like this. I love the lamps that I have in my living room, but they're from the 60s. They're more like atomic lamps, and I would probably just use them somewhere else because I wouldn't want to get rid of those. But I was just staring at these lamps for the longest time, and then John eventually came over, and they were only $10 a piece too, which is just incredible. But the only thing about it is, and I love the lampshades, but they're made out of that plasticky material, and as you can see, like, they're quite yellowed, which I don't even mind that they've yellowed, but it's not like an even yellowing. And then when I peeled it back there, you can see like what color they used to be. And I think one was more yellow than the other. And so I was just trying to figure it out in my head. Like, where am I going to find shades that are like this? Like, I wish they would have made of fabric. But, oh, they're so beautiful. I'm so sad that the shades were in that condition. I just couldn't, like, figure out how I would make it work. Like, the shades are such a big part of it for me, so just plopping another shade on wouldn't quite be the same. So sadly I had to walk away, but I loved them so much. So then over in the little appliance area, I noticed this old coffee maker. It looks very like early 80s. I don't remember if this was here before or not. I'm sure I showed it if it was, so you guys would probably know more than I would. But I love how the coffee pots back then always had little designs on them. I just think it's cute. So anyway, there wasn't too much going on over here. So then I decided to just take a quick look at the linens before we checked out. I filmed a day in my life on this day, so we were thrifting a bunch of other places, so we were on a semi like time schedule. But you never know when you're going to find some vintage sheets for cheap that will sell for a lot. I actually did see a few sets here, but I don't know, I didn't end up getting any of them. Part of me wishes that I would have, but again, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I still have to list, so I'm not necessarily looking for anything to buy to resell until I get the backlog kind of cleared. But I don't know, I think there were a few cute ones, but ultimately I just decided not to get any. Nothing stood out to me as like, wow, this is amazing. But I do love the way they do their sheets here, because they're first of all, they're really inexpensive, but they always put like what size they are and keep them all folded up and tied up. So the only bad thing, I guess, is you wouldn't be able to see if it had like a rip in it or something. But I don't know, I've never bought any sheets there that have had rips in them, so I'm gonna say maybe they check for that beforehand. I did kind of like the bluish ones, like with the blue flowers too, that were just in the last shot. And looking at them now, I like them even more. But anyway, I ended up leaving, and this is everything we got. I kind of just showed you as we were buying it, so I didn't bother doing like a haul. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again really soon, probably with the day in the life thrifting on Sunday.